Hi, everyone, and welcome to a mini episode of Madonna Songbook Podcast. Yes, Madonna has just been here in Milan for Fashion Week and attended the presentation of Dolce Gabbana's new collection and celebrated her campaign for their perfume, The One, attending their party and hanging around town. And this has generated even more interest in a much discussed series of items that Dolce & Gabbana have issued. I'm talking about the vinyl for La Bambola and the music card that have been circulating. Now, this podcast is specifically upon request of a lot of fans who love collecting records and wanted to know more about these two items. A lot of fans have been discussing this on forums and social media, and some people believe these are not official items. So first of all, let me get this straight. I do not promote bootlegs. I know that a lot of people create these unauthorized items and other people enjoy collecting them. Personally, I don't like bootlegs, although I admire the creativity of a lot of fans who have put out stuff that unfortunately I have to say are illicit. But at the same time, I have had the luck to add to my collection these two items that I'm going to show to you, and I wanted to share them again. I've put out a couple of reels and Instagram stories, and still I'm hearing people wanting to know more. So here I am presenting to you these two products and ready to discuss them in detail. So here is the first item issued by Dolce & Gabbana. This came to me from the publicity office thanks to a journalist who's in the fashion industry, a very dear friend of mine, who received a copy and immediately gave it to me, knowing how much I love Madonna. So essentially, it's a Dolce & Gabbana gift bag and includes, first of all, the vinyl. Here it is. It has a beautiful cover. I think it's far better than the digital single that has been issued on streaming platforms. It's a beautiful photo by Madonna. It's a twofold. And if you read on the back, it's been printed on 1,915 copies. It's a very odd number. I wonder if there is a meaning to it, or it's a rounded number out of a request of pressing 2,000 copies, and some of them, 85, were not passing the quality test. It's a twofold. Like I said, if you want to look at defects, this one has been glued. So it shows a little bit on the cover for those who really love the details. The sleeve inside is really nice because it's completely golden. And it comes with a vinyl inside, obviously, that is crazily printed only on one side. The A side has La Bambola. The B side is empty. Here is my ring light illuminating that. There is no track. There's no groove on the B side. A side, B side. Now, an important element of this vinyl is that it says it's Dolce & Gabbana featuring Madonna La Bambola, which is quite funny and nice to say. But a lot of people have been doubting that this is an official release because it lacks many things. First of all, this strange title. It should be Madonna, right? Performing. But it's been issued by Dolce & Gabbana. And the other thing is that there is no publishing credits for the lyrics that come on the back of the cover that should need permission to be printed. Also, it doesn't come with a P and C credit. P stands for phonogram and represents the date when the recording was made, and C is for copyright. And one other thing that is obviously missing is the name of the label issuing this product. Now, I have to say that quality-wise, the vinyl and the cardboard are really, really good. But obviously, this has been produced by someone who's not that experienced about issuing records. However, I must say they have done things fully legally by adding this little sticker on the back, which is for SIAE, which is the Italian Collecting Society for Royalties, meaning this is officially done. Also, why would Dolce & Gabbana issue a bootleg? Clearly, they got all the permissions to release this record. And I should add, a promo record doesn't have to fall under the specific guidelines of a release that is commercially available for obvious reasons. Now, Discog, the most important record collectors platform, has this item registered as a bootleg because it lacks of a lot of information, like I said, but at the same time, it is very, very clear that this is an official release. It just doesn't come through Warner or Madonna's label, but it has been issued by Dolce & Gabbana, who commissioned this recording and probably got the permission from Warner for Madonna to appear on it. For those who doubt that this item exists or really comes from Dolce & Gabbana, all I can say is you can trust me or you cannot trust me, but you should be looking at the other people, not many I have to say, but models and perfume industry and fashion industry people who have received exactly the same kit. And I'm going to show you more details from it soon. And the fact that Stefano Gabbana himself has shared those contents on his own Instagram. He's very active and he's a huge Madonna fan. You may have seen he follows a lot of accounts. So what else is inside this big package? It's a Golden Box by Dolce & Gabbana. And it features 2 perfumes, one for men, one for ladies. And what I find most amusing is this little keychain in the shape of a mini CD. It's really funny. Some people thought this was a CD single because they couldn't see the proportions. So here I am showing it to you in its real size. You can see the size of my hand. There's the beautiful cardboard. It's not a CD, it's just a toy. And it's really cute. And it comes with some lyrics as well. Can you see? So I think it's really a joyful gift and a beautiful present. Now, the big question, how can you get this item? Well, unfortunately, it's just a promo thing, and they have only used it so far for publicity, therefore sent it to journalists, but not music journalists who are quite used to sharing or reselling promo items famously. This is more in the fashion industry and perfume industry, so a lot of people are probably hanging on to these valuable things and do not even know how many people would be crazy about having this vinyl. Also, recently, the vinyl has been seen in the window shops in Milan and Rome, the window shops of Dolce & Gabbana's main stores. And some clients who have spent quite a lot of money on beauty products have received the vinyl as a gift recently in Rome. So it's very sorry that this is not being made public. So maybe Dolce & Gabbana will hear all the requests from the fans and will make this more approachable. Who knows? I would really love for everyone to have this beautiful gem. You know, I am not one of those collectors who thinks, well, now this is mine and screw the others. Actually, the first thing I did when I received this package was to issue an Instagram reel because I really wanted people to see that it existed, that it was beautiful, and I hope more people get this. I know this is very hard to find, but at the same time, I really want everyone to understand that I'm not doing this out of, boasting or wanting to showcase that I have something precious. I have a beautiful record collection that I'm very proud of, the cassettes, the CDs, and especially the magazines, simply because I've always been interested in the story behind Madonna's music. So I've collected a lot of magazines, which have been the foundation of my research for Madonna Songbook, the book that I released last year. And also because they're more affordable and they're cheaper than rare records. And I must say, if I have to share something I'm really proud of in my collection, it's 2 items. One, it's quite rare and soft. It's the Over and Over Italian single. It's a beautiful single that was released at the end of the Like a Virgin campaign, only in Italy, with Borderline on the back. And it had a poster. Now you can see my copy is not mint. It has some stickers, and it comes with a beautiful story, which is why I'm really affectionate to this item. When I grew up in my hometown Bergamo, just outside Milan, I was listening to a local radio station and they would play a lot of Madonna, and I grew up with them, with their programs and so forth. But in 1989, they shut down and they decided actually to convert the whole radio station to just Italian music. So the owner, whom I knew because I used to hang around at the studios, told me that they were selling all the records they had. And a friend of mine and I went there and got our hands on their beautiful records, and I managed to purchase some. So this was their sticker to for their catalog, for their archival, and I've kept it on. It might be removed, I'm not sure. I don't want to screw this item. Another item I'm really crazy about is this beautiful picture disc, Girl Gone Wild. You might say, what's so special about this picture disc? It's widely available. Well, thank me for that. Yes, in 2012, I was the product manager of the MDNA promotion here in Italy at Universal Music when Madonna was signed to Interscope. And you have to know that at that time, nothing was being released physically outside of the main album. Yes, there wasn't much of the now so-called super fan culture where you promote and issue a lot of formats. Think of Taylor Swift releasing 27 or 32 editions of her latest album. So nothing was being scheduled. And I was insisting with Interscope in LA. My dear colleague Karen Goodman listened to me and at one point spoke to Madonna's management, and they were very happy to issue something physical, and they came up with the idea of having the Girl Gone Wild picture disc. And I'm so happy it came out once again, because it wasn't something just for me, but for the whole fan community. And finally, I would like to share with you the second item that has been circulating these days, thanks to Dolce & Gabbana. A couple of weeks ago, you would walk by their store. Outside, they have bought a newspaper kiosk that was very traditional, you know, those rough news kiosks. And one day they probably went like, this is not good looking for our clients. So they bought it over, turned it into a luxurious kiosk. And sometimes they have their promotion and marketing by decorating the whole kiosk for their current campaign. This is what they did for the one and Madonna. It had beautiful pictures and it was all golden. And if you registered on their mailing list, signed up for your data and so forth, you would receive a little gift bag that would contain a couple perfume samples and what I should call a music card. Here it is. It's 5 or 6 inch. You see, you open it and music starts and it plays La Bambola. Again, it has lyrics on the back and it says Dolce & Gabbana featuring Madonna, La Bambola. Now, with this one, I have to say that, again, a lot of people thought it was a single, a vinyl single. It isn't. And again, unfortunately, this sample, as it says on the sticker, was distributed only for a couple of days and it probably sold out. I don't know. Or maybe they had a very limited run. I think it's cute, although the batteries will soon expire. Now, this is far more accessible because some people managed to get more copies. I don't know how, because you were supposed to give your name and email and phone number and so forth, but it's more accessible. Well, that's it. I just wanted to share these things so that more people have more information about these items. Please be careful with the money you spend online. I know you might have the urge, the impulse to buy these items if they pop up, but please understand their value is not that big, and be careful with the money you spend. Also, I think we should be saving money because Madonna's album is coming soon and hopefully they will announce a tour. And before I go, one more thing. Stay tuned and check back soon for the next proper episode of Madonna Songbook Podcast, because I have a special guest coming from the very, very early days of Madonna's musical career, and that is Paul Pesco. Yes, the guitarist behind the rocking guitar of Burning Up, the funky riff of Lucky Star, the Virgin Tour, Girly Show. He has great stories, so come back soon and stay tuned to watch Madonna Songbook Podcast. Ciao from Milano.